A very warm welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Mahavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 24th July. Let's see what we have got in PIB today. A special topic that I have got for you guys is about ways to control or a way to control mob violence. Now, mob violence is something that is in fashion at present in our country, which is of course a matter of concern. It is a very serious thing. There is nothing to be happy about this sort of mob violence. We know that lynching has been going on and it's getting more and more severe, right? It's exacerbating, which is not acceptable at all. So far we have seen some 20 plus cases of lynching, and we have observed this thing as well, that what these political leaders are doing is they are you can say political leaders, or you can say leaders of future, right? Because what is happening at present is that these mob leaders are getting ticket to politics, right? And we know that in our country we have two M's that is required. These two things are required for an entry into politics. M stands for muscle power. That means you need to have manpower as well as goons and everything. And the other M stands for money. If you have money and muscle, both these things, if you have this best of both, then that's it, you are there. You can fight for, you can stand for MLA election or MP, you know, you will get a respect in political party as well. They will give you a ticket because you have big name, and if there are any issues or anything, then you can sort it out either with the help of money or either with the help of your muscle. Of course, when we say muscle, we are not talking about this physical muscles, biceps and triceps. We are talking about these men you have, these hooligans that you have, or these goons that you have there. So this is very sadly entry to politics as well as success mantra if you want to climb a bit higher. Of course, I am not that expert in politics. When I say expert, I mean to say as far as polity, governance and constitution is concerned, yes, we know what's going on, but how to climb ladders and all these things is again it's different in all political parties. But yes, this two currency M plus M will work in all different political parties. Now the thing is, because of this agitations, right, what they are doing nowadays, they will ask for, you have to take a permission from your district administration. So they will approach district administration. They will say that we are going to have this many people. We are going to rally from this place to that place. It's going to be a peaceful thing. There is nothing called violence that we support, and all these big fake promises are given. Because of course, if they will tell the government that they are going to do this thing, then the leaders will be jailed for, or this preventive detention will take place and things like that. So they claim to swear for, or they take permission for peaceful protest, but they have, or we know it very well, they know exactly, that this division of work of who is going to be in charge of stone throwing, who is going to be in charge of burning vehicles, and all these things are already planned. If we go back in our history, back in 1922, when this Chori Chora incident took place, at that point of time Mahatma Gandhi took responsibility on his head. He said that because he was a leader, and genuinely Mahatma Gandhi asked for a non-violent agitation, but because of what happened in this Chora Chori, right, these police people, and then people were a bit aggressive and they started lathi charging people, and people started beating or thrashing this policeman, and police station was burned, and many people, many policemen died. And this was something that was not acceptable to Gandhiji at all, because he asked for a non-violent agitation. So he took this responsibility, and in fact this is a signature of you can say a leader, right, a leader that is pure by heart. He said that he takes this full responsibility, and he is ready to and in fact he proposed that he should on him there should be a severe punishment should be imposed on him. He committed a Himalayan blunder. Can you believe the courage of this man here? He accepted his mistake. He was even ready to go through the punishment. But what we find nowadays, we find blame games, right? Today's leader, do you expect or have you seen any leader who will take responsibility of this violence? Most of the time what happens is that they will try to project themselves as victims, and then they will join politics later on. We have many cases, right? So we are not taking names here, right? It's not that I'm afraid of taking names, but it's not, I don't think it is decent to speak about someone else or take their names, right? They are doing, it's their choice, right? Right. So non-violence may have succeeded under the British Raj, but nothing succeeds like violence in independent India. Now, how to break this chain, how we can destroy this culture of mob violence or this lynching that is going on. The reason why these organizations or political parties or this groups, new groups that we find every single day, the reason why they are, they find this courage to do all this thing is because, first of all, our law and order situation or the people who are controlling it are not experts. Yes, they are not experts, because in police, even today, you don't have any separate department of law and order and separate department of investigation. One person would be either, you have to switch hats at various different point of your career. So you are expert in nothing, right? You are jack of all but master of none. The other thing is, these people, they know that if they burn down this state transport buses, if they destroy buildings and vehicles and other things, it's going to take ages, or most of the time government will never prove it that these people were involved in it, right? So this is something, it's a crime for which you will not get punished. So even a person who has never killed a mosquito, right, that person will start throwing stones, because he or she knows, most of the time it's he knows it very well that he's not going to get caught. So this is one of the reasons. So what we can do is, we have to deploy best technologies. If a political party is asking, or any organization is asking for a permission to conduct this sort of rally, and if it is found that this political parties or this organization, they have indulged, or their workers have indulged in any sort of violence, then that organization or that party should face severe punishment, penalties, right? Money should be collected from that party. Individuals who are part of this sort of stone throwing and destroying property, they should pay for it. They should never get a job, government job in future. They should never get any sort of this private sector job as well. This will create these youngsters who are not thinking about their future, and they are joining this political party. When I say political party, I mean to say these agitations, violent agitations. Non-violent agitations, yes, you can, you have this right, but violent one, we don't have this right to do it in our country, at least. So if someone is destroying, then that person has to pay heavy fine, do community service, clean roads, and all these things should be part of their punishment. So this will humiliate them, this will teach them this lesson. The other thing is, even today what we are using is, we are using old methods to prove these crimes. We need to deploy modern technologies, CCTV cameras, smartphones are there, you can take pictures and clicks and all these things. Then one more thing, we can deploy drones. We can have this exercise, police can do this exercise, like say for example, one particular city, if you know that you have 3 or 4 different big chokes or this crossroads, then you can, means you have to find that spots that if something goes wrong, then you will find people over here or this place, how police can tackle them. If you have 1 lakh people, what you are going to do? If you have 50,000 people, then how you are going to control them and things like that. So all these things should be planned ahead, and you can deploy drones that will take pictures, drones fitted with face recognition. You can match it with database. If you have to, then you have to use Aadhaar or any other database from which you can find that picture or that face, right? Get all this evidence and we can start this whole process of delivering justice, because this experiment has been, means, and I say this experiment, I'm not talking about drones and all these things, but Bihar's DGP Abhyanand, what he did, that rather than relying on this old, this witnesses or old ways of sorting out cases, he started deploying technology. High-tech forensic evidences were collected, and they were quickly collected and they were presented in the court. So this conviction rate went up, and because of this thing, this hooligans, right, there was a drastic drop in this gangsters and these crimes taking place in Bihar. So these are two ways through which I'm convinced that we can control, because once these people will realize that if they are recognized, then they are going to go through a very harsh punishment, then they will never muster this courage to take part in this sort of violence. We have news coming from Prime Minister's office. Prime Minister Modi is in this continent of Africa. His first visit was Rwanda, then his second visit Uganda. In Uganda, he addressed Uganda's parliament. He offered line of credit as well, and $200 million worth of line of credit is being offered to Uganda. As you can see here, this is Africa here. Let me give you a brief about Africa. You find 0 degree longitude, that is prime meridian, right? Prime meridian line, timeline is passing from Africa, as you can see here. Then you find equator as well, that is passing from Africa. Africa is the only continent from which you find all three important lines. One is equator, the other one is Tropic of Cancer, that is 23.5 degree north, and 23.5 degree south, that is Tropic of Capricorn, is passing from this continent. So three important lines are passing from this continent. Apart from that, you can also see this timeline is passing from this continent, and this is a portion that I would like to draw your attention at. This one here, see, this is a place here in Atlantic Ocean where you find this timeline is interacting with this equator. Here is Uganda. Capital is Kampala, of course. You can see it is a landlocked country. You can see so many lakes here. Equator is passing from this country, so you can imagine that it's going to have a tropical climate because of lakes and the way the winds are blowing most of the time from this part or this side to this side. So it's having very tropical weather. You have rainfall every day. You will find tropical evergreen forest over here and things like that. We have also decided to hand over ambulance and cancer therapy machine to Uganda, and as I told you, Parliament was addressed. Uganda's Parliament was addressed by Mr. Modi, and this was very well accepted by people of Uganda. India is going to take part in this exercise called Pitch Black. That is going to take place in Australia. We are going to take our 4 SU-MKIs and other important aircrafts of our fighter jets, of course, and we are going to cross this Indian Ocean and reach over there and things like that. So this will be a good exercise. It will demonstrate our capability to be an effective net security provider as far as this Indian Ocean region is concerned. Moving on to another item, dear friends, Tourism Ministry of Tourism has got a news for us that 17 sites in 12 different clusters in our country will be developed under this iconic tourist sites development project, and this was announced back in our latest budget of 2018-19. And as you can see here, I'll give you one example. Say for example, if you are from Uttar Pradesh, then you should keep in mind these two items here. Taj Mahal and Fatehpur Sikri are part of this project. So go through it, this list here, and identify the item that belongs to your state, because if you are preparing for state level exams, then this type of questions are very common to find. As far as national exams are concerned, I will ask you to have a quick glance over it, and it's going to be a holistic development, providing connectivity, better facilities and experience, skill development, involvement of local community, promotion and branding, and all these things. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Gram stands for village, so village connectivity or road connectivity scheme has done wonders for Assam, right? So far, since 2009, 19,000 kilometer rural roads have been constructed in Assam. 312 rural habitations are connected in recent past, and it's also said here that connectivity to unconnected habitations are carried out as a part of poverty reduction strategy, because once you have connectivity, you will get you can import and export things, of course, domestically, and then this will bring new opportunities for your town, for your village. So this will create, basically, roads are not just for traveling, right? They are gateway, or they will take you, or they connect you with national market or international market as well, indirectly. Ministry of Personnel and Public Grievance and Minister Dr. Singh, Jitendra Singh, has said that government has passed this Prevention of Corruption Amendment Bill 2018 from Lok Sabha, and this is a big bill, right? A very important one, because now giving bribe is also a crime. There are some exemptions that if you are forced to give a bribe, then within 7 days you have to inform these authorities, but the big question is that bribes are given in cash. So even if you don't inform, and in future if that person, that officer who is taking bribe, if he is caught, then there is no way he is going to prove that you have given him money. So there are a few flaws here, right? It's not that it's going to change the whole thing, but we are not being too negative here as well, right? There is a way out, as far as we all are ready to work for it. That's everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much for your support and love. Jai Hind.